Police are already experiencing a significant success in ridding the streets of illegal guns.
At a press conference today, the police commissioner discussed the danger the country faces with the proliferation of guns and reaffirmed the commitment of the police force to win the crime war.
Well, Commissioner Greenslade says the public also has an important role to play. Cleopatra Murphy tells us more.
Commissioner of Police Allison Greenslade says police have confiscated more than 100 illegal weapons off the streets of New Providence and Grand Bahama since January 2016, some that have been tied to criminal acts.
We had an incident just over the weekend where a young man was shot and injured, brandishing a gun and in fact confronting a police officer. The weapon retrieved from him has distinct signatures of murder on it. So we have basically closed 2 murder files and a very serious shooting file.
The weapons were on full display at a press conference at police headquarters Monday, and Greenslade says the numbers indicate that the country has a serious problem with criminal culture. He says police are mostly recovering pistols, but there is a growing trend that is worrying.
We are seeing now an emergence of assault weapons. We have in recent times, in recent months, in this year, recovered far too many, and I want the Bahamian public to hear me clearly, far too many assault weapons. All it takes is one deranged person, one person with a bit of dope in their head, to throw caution to the wind, and the Bahamas will be on the world stage.
The police commissioner appealed to parents and members of the public to recognize the severity of the situation and inform police when they see family members or people they know with illegal guns. Greenslade says the recent confiscations have been a result of combined efforts of police and the public.
Most of the weapons that we have found have been as a result of stop and search, or they have been intelligence-led operations where we got information from the public, people that are fed up with what's happening. They tell us, we respond, and we find the gun.
He also vented frustrations that when officers make arrests, they find that criminals are soon back on the streets again. Even so, he says police will continue to do their job as they strive to keep the country safe. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Now to news from the courts this Monday. Police have wasted no time in charging 3 adult males in connection with the death of a 16-year-old high school student.
Now that student was killed in the crossfire of a fight last week as rocks were thrown as she sat on a public bus. Fern Carey was in court for the arraignment.
Police are holding 21-year-old Jason Pettyhume, 20-year-old Antonio Brown, and 22-year-old Dwayne Harris Jr. responsible for the tragic death of 16-year-old GHS high school student Ms. Alana Bucamp last week. Police say the teen was on a bus on Carmichael Road heading to school when a fight broke out outside the bus between a group of men. One of the men allegedly picked up a rock and threw it, hitting the teen in the head. She later died. In court, Magistrate Andrew Forbes charged Brown, Pettyhume, and Harris with intentionally and unlawfully causing Bucamp's death. However, the court was not finished charging the trio with causing damage to a 2012 Toyota. They were not required to enter a plea to the charges. Following the arraignment, Brown and Pettyhume levied some charges of their own against the police. They alleged that they were assaulted by police while in custody at CDU. All of their complaints were noted by the court.
Now, as anticipated, the defendants were all remanded in custody. They returned to court on June 1st. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
Well, if you didn't know, today was observed as Commonwealth Day at the Government High School, but the event could not mask the pain and emotion the GHS family felt as they grieved the loss of one of their own.
Now, guidance counselors were on the campus today to provide the necessary help to grieving students. Our Carla Palmer was also there.
Had you been in the midst of the Government High School family this Monday, you would have experienced what I did, the emotional reaction of teachers and classmates to the death of a student and friend. Long before guidance counselors had arrived, teachers and classmates of 16-year-old Ms. Alana Bucamp, wary in their circumstance, were comforting each other. In a homeroom of 10H, Ms. Alana's name is still etched on the chalkboard in recognition of her outstanding academic achievement as an honor roll student, and her desk and chair, coincidentally, at the front of the class, remained vacant. Homeroom teachers Tricene Thurston and Rosemary Lang remembered Ms. Alana fondly as a quiet, reserved, and respectful child.
It's just like a missing link in the classroom because we lost one of our very own, and we were a tight-knitted group.
She was absent the week prior before she came to school. I know she don't normally be absent like that, but she normally just be late coming to school. So I said, Ms. Alana, we miss you in class. And I asked her, where's her note? She said that she was going to bring it Friday morning, which was that same morning when the incident happened.
Perhaps more than most, Monica Genti and Verlaine Petitfrere will miss Ms. Alana. As best buddies, they often caught the bus to and from school together. This Monday, however, both girls admit to being shocked and saddened.
I good for now. Stable.
I'm thinking about my friend, actually. All the good times she spent with us and the happy moments.
GHS principal Mrs. Eloise Wims says the student body's grief is hard to bear now, but they will overcome.
Right now, we are trying to get a hold and grip of reality. To us, we are less one number in our student population, and it hurts. It hurts. This tragic event should not have happened, but reality is it has.
Beyond today, education officials say guidance counselors will remain on call for staff and students here as needed. Meantime, a memorial service is planned for Bucamp for next week Thursday right here at GHS. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Carla. Meantime, over at C.C. Sweeting Senior High School, teachers and students there were dealing with a similar situation. A 16-year-old student of that institution was also tragically killed. Stephon Horton was shot on Friday evening in the Flamingo Gardens area. Principal Joan Gray said Horton was an exemplary student.
He, as far as I knew it, was one of the students you would call an exemplar. He was not a student to give us problems on this campus. And that does not mean to say the children who give us problems should die such horrific deaths. That's not what I'm saying. This is difficult. To have so many of our young people lose their lives in such tragic manner is not something that we can accept or tolerate very much longer. I believe in the affirmative action, and something has to be done. Something of a more concrete nature has to be done to put a stop to this.
4 people were formally charged today in connection with that major drug bust at the Lyndon Pinling International Airport last Wednesday. Police say more than 65 pounds of cocaine was found at the U.S. Pre-Clearance Lounge. The drugs have an estimated street value of $450,000. The defendants are 30-year-old Cordero Johnson, 23-year-old Jerrio Coakley, 46-year-old Felix Wallace, and 24-year-old Enoch Adderley. In court today, Coakley, Wallace, and Adderley pleaded not guilty to possession of dangerous drugs with the intent to supply, conspiracy to possess dangerous drugs, and conspiracy to import dangerous drugs. But Johnson pleaded guilty to all charges. He's expected to be sentenced March 18th. Bail was denied, and the 3 were remanded. Wallace, Adderley, and Coakley are due for trial June 22nd.
20-year-old Terrence Roll made his first appearance in the South Street Magistrates Court today. He's accused of killing 41-year-old Troy Cash, also known as Troy Ferguson, and Ghost, on March 2nd. Police say gunshots were heard in the area of Dorset Street, Fox Hill, and when they arrived on the scene, they found Cash's dead body lying in the street. In court, Roll was formally charged with causing Cash's death. He also pleaded not guilty to stealing and receiving a 2001 Honda. Bail was denied, and he was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections. He returns to court on May 18th.
Investigations continue into that homicide in the Ridgeland Park area yesterday afternoon. Police say they got the call just after 3 o'clock that a man was sitting in a Pontiac vehicle on Wentworth Street when two gunmen approached and shot him. They fled the scene on foot. Police say the victim was being electronically monitored and was on bail for murder. We talked to police press officer, Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean at the scene.
We are appealing to members of the public who might have been canvassed in this area, who might have seen anything immaterial to how insignificant it might seem. We want you to contact the police or call the Crime Stoppers so we can bring resolution and bring justice to the victim's family.
If you know of a crime, please call Crime Stoppers at 328-8477, toll free 242-300-8477. You can also check them out on www.crimestoppersbahamas.com. Let's stop the crime before it's your time.